In today's class, we'll be learning about recessed light trims. This trim. So we have a variety of trims about which I have discussed in the previous video, and now I'm going to discuss the newer trims about which I'll be explaining with the help of the photos. जैसा कि हमेशा मैं करता क्या हूँ कि with the help of photo I explain different types of lights. Recessed lighting trims में पहला जो दिख रहा है आपको Shail. Then we have eyeball, gimbal ring, periscope, and then we'll be learning about baffle, reflector, drop opal, wall wash. आप कहोगे सर इसको जानने से मुझे क्या मिलेगा? Because the moment you go to the market to purchase any type of light based on your requirement of your space planning, you should be knowing it. At the same time, you should know where to use baffle and where to use wall wash. Application of this particular trim or light is different from this. This is having different application than this. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So, to know them all, we will start with the first one, Shail light. So, Shail light is like this. You can see it here. The look. So, this trim and then internal diffuser is having crystal-like structure. It is not plain. So this seems to be like that. This particular light, which is having a diffuser structured in such a way that it seems to be having the rings, and then it has different cuts. So the spread of light is going to be different than the diffuser, which is plain. Okay, now let's move to eyeball. So this particular eyeball spotlight is going to be different from this. इसके अंदर जो angle होगा, due to the structure, due to this particular shape, इसकी angle almost 50, 60 या 65 degree के आसपास होगा. Because the light is installed above. यहाँ पे लाइट बाहर को आ जाता है. सो डिस्पर्सल एंगल, लाइट के डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का एंगल इसमें ज़्यादा मिलेगा. सो दीज रिसेस्ड लाइट्स, व्हाई वी यूज either gimbal or eyeball or periscope, it is based on purely the factor of the angle, and secondary point is that what type of look you want to achieve. So the functional aspect of this eyeball is that this behaves like our eyes. It can rotate or move right side, left side, this side or that side. So movement is possible here, but here light can't move. So let's see eyeball. So this is the example of eyeball. You can see eyeball. This is the one. This is the one. This particular type of ceiling is called coffered ceiling. Because it is coffered ceiling, having a flat type of spotlight won't work. That is why designer has used eyeball. This Shail recessed light is not possible here. If you do so, what it will do, it will throw light from this portion to this portion, and from this to this to this. So the light is going to remain in this particular depressed coffered ceiling. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
That is why one will have to use eyeball. So application देखा आपने?
Yes, sir.
Situation के according हमें application करनी होती है, because this can rotate. Now we will go to gimbal ring. So What are different gimbal rings? This also behaves like eyeball. So what's the difference between eyeball and gimbal ring? See the difference. Here it is coming like eye. The outer shell is very thin. Here it is making a ring. Light is installed inside, but here it is coming out. That's the difference, coming out. This one is regressed light. So regressed eyeball is another name of gimbal. Some people call it as gimbal, some people call it as regressed eyeball recessed light or spotlight. So this is the example of regressed eyeball recessed light. Why one should use regressed eyeball? Because you can control this spread. If you really move to this side, this angle will reduce. But if it is fixed type, where the light source cannot be rotated, in that case the spread remains fixed. The behavior of this light rays will remain fixed, but in this case you can still manage. Look at it. This is again another example of regressed eyeball recessed light. After gimbal, we will go to periscope. So this periscope is actually nothing but this type of light is called periscope. You can see it here. This looks like this periscope. It is having outer shell, and at the same time it is having its own internal structure. It can rotate inside only. This is periscope. You can see it. So one periscope is recessed inside. This is almost coming to the surface, and this is coming out of this ceiling surface. So you can get a variety of periscope recessed lights. And after this we'll move to the next one, that is baffle. So let's have baffle. So this is the example of baffle light. How it looks? This looks like this. It has rings over here, and the light source is far inside the overall casement. So the overall case is empty this side, and it is making a ring like this. Same thing is happening here, though it is in vertical way, in curved way, but it is also making kind of ring. This is the type of baffled trim light. Such lights are actually considered anti-glare trim lights or spotlights. Why it is called anti-glare? Can you tell me? Why it is called anti-glare? Any light which is recessed inside, because of that the angle spread reduces. If it is reduces more than 30 degrees, suppose this side, this corner is getting shadow. If it is more than 30 degree, this portion, then those types of lights are called anti-glare light. We will discuss in detail in next video about the anti-glare light. This is very, very important topic, because without knowing this, you won't be able to plan the light. Baffle trim anti-glare light. Look at it. This is having cutoff angle of 40 degree. So here it is making 40 degree. After that this light is inside, which is having the angle of beam angle of 120 degree. So what happens is that if light is between this angle and it is crossing 30 degree, so it is not going to hit the eyes of the persons sitting or standing. The two situations comes: a person who is sitting, a person who is standing. So somebody who is standing, if you are getting cutoff angle of 40 degree, so it is not going to create glare. If somebody is sitting, you can go to 40 degree or 45 degrees so that it doesn't hit directly the eyes.
Okay, sir.
Got the point?
Yes, sir.
So glare free lighting is possible because of the spotlight. That is why spotlight's understanding is very important. बिना spotlight को जाने, उसके angularity को जाने बगैर अगर आपने कहीं यूज कर दिया तो let me tell you, it creates glare. इसका एग्जाम्पल है कि अगर आप इवनिंग में मेट्रो पे जाते हो तो उसका जो हमारा ये गेट नंबर 4 पे जो वो लिफ्ट है, उस लिफ्ट के गेट पे एक लाइट लगा हुआ है, स्पॉटलाइट, which is very near because it is too near to the person who is entering inside the lift. It hits directly on the eyes, so that creates what? Glare. So to make cutoff angle is all about cutting off direct hit of light on the eyes. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's come to this. So we have seen baffle light. So you'll have to recognize this. Now reflector. The feature of reflector is as such that this case is having reflective material. Aluminium foil like material which is highly reflective. So why do we use reflector based spotlight or recessed light? Let's see how it looks and why do we use it. So this is the example of reflector light. It has different finish also. It has chrome finish, gold chrome, black chrome, rose gold chrome. So you get a variety. Because of this, coating color, you even get different colors of the
Light.
Output of the light. Because of this reflective material, it is not going to contribute highly to the surface, but it is going to contribute to the extent of the deepness of the color. Got the point?
Yes.
Generally हमें 3 तरह के lights मिलेंगे आजकल के LED lights में, that is warm light, warm white, natural white and daylight. So these coatings are actually making the concentration of light on a surface on a higher amount. It contributes to the surface in such a way that it reflects received light from its surface and produces more light, more than the capacity of the of LED or incandescent lamp, whatever it is,
Yes,
whatever the source of the light. Now we will move to the next slide, which is about drop opal. Drop opal light, how it looks? It is going to look like this. This is the example of drop opal. Here it looks like this because it is made up of plastic. It is having plastic body, but here it is having metal body.
Yes, sir.
Now look at the application. It looks so formal, but it also looks aliens. If you're going to use drop opal too many in the space, it will look alien. ऐसा लगेगा यार ये बाहर से ना जबरदस्ती इसमें डाला गया है. यही चीज़ रिसेस लाइट के साथ में ऐसा महसूस नहीं होता है, चाहे कितनी भी नंबर्स में हो. अगर आप शोरूम में जाते हो, endless numbers of spotlight, recessed spotlights are there, but this kind of drop opal recessed lights or spotlight you don't find generally. इसको डिज़ाइन करना या इसकी एप्लीकेशन डिफ़िकल्ट है, so you'll have to be very sensitive if you're going to use it. हाँ, if you're using this in the center of the or middle of the space ceiling, it is going to really look nice.
Yes, sir.
This is something one should use minimally. If you're having hyper planning of a number of drop opal light, it may not look good in your space. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What type of light it is?
Drop up.
Drop opal recessed light.
Yes, sir.
This is in combination of 3. This is also looking good. But if you're going to use the same 3 lights on the other side, opposite side, or maybe all 4 sides, then it is going to really spoil the space. Maybe you can use 1 side or 2 sides, but not all the 4 sides.
Yes, sir.
This again depends on your sixth sense. I keep on saying to the students, sixth sense is all about आपने जो एक्सपीरियंस गेन करे हैं लाइफ में किसी भी चीज़ के बारे में, उससे ना आपके मन में, दिमाग में, अकल में ये बात आने लगती है कि हम क्या करेंगे तो अच्छा होगा, क्या करेंगे तो गलत होगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे हम लॉज बहुत सारे हैं, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में इतने सारे लॉज हैं कि शायद आपको 10 साल लग जाए समझने में, लेकिन फिर भी नेचुरली we understand what is right, what is wrong. That is why we don't do wrong things, because we will be on the wrong side of the law. In the very same way, design में भी आपको ये सिक्स सेंस आ ही जाता है कि हम क्या करेंगे तो अच्छा लगेगा, क्या करेंगे कि बुरा लगेगा. Got the point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So whatever commentary I am doing here, it is based on my experience, my understanding. In design, there's nothing called wrong design. It is called good design, less good, maybe average, less than average, but it is never no design. It's never bad design. It is always to extent design.
Okay.
Some people will object, why not bad design? Because if you are having training in design, so obviously you won't be doing something which just anybody, any Tom, Dick, Harry will do. तो कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा तो करोगे ही आप, लेकिन best comes with your age, with your maturity, with your knowledge, with your experience. Why I'm emphasizing while teaching you different types of this point, because some people expect that after doing engineering or MBBS, I'm ready to operate anybody. No, after doing surgery, you'll have to be in a company to work with other doctors, senior doctors, and then you sharpen your skill to operate your patient. तो कुछ बच्चे आते कहते सर कोर्स तो कर लिया, हमें आता नहीं. आता इसलिए नहीं है कि ध्यान से पढ़ा ही नहीं, कुछ पढ़ाने वाले ने आपको टेक्निकल पढ़ाया नहीं, डेकोरेशन का कोर्स करके सोच रहे कि हमने तो आर्किटेक्चर की मास्टरी कर ली है और करा इंटीरियर है, बिल्डिंग बनाने चले हैं, करा डेकोरेशन है और 5-7 स्टार होटल के प्रोजेक्ट करने निकले हैं. तो वही होगा ना जो होगा आपके पास. नहीं, जो आपके पास होगा वही होगा, जो आपके पास नहीं है वो नहीं होगा. मैं क्या कह रहा हूं समझ गया आप? टिपिकली ड्रॉप ओपल. दिस वाज आईबॉल, राइट? तो अभी तो हमें उससे मतलब नहीं. लेट्स सी अनदर लाइट. वॉल वॉश. इसमें कुछ आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ कुछ अजीब सा है. ये कवर्ड है, हाफ ओपन है. तो अब हम देखेंगे किसको? वॉल वॉश को. किसको देखेंगे? वॉल वॉश. ये देखिए कुछ ऐसा दिखता है. ये पहले देखा था आपने वॉल वॉश लाइट?
नो सर.
इट इज हैविंग कवरिंग ओवर हियर. जस्ट गेस ऐसा क्यों होगा? यहाँ पे ये कवर क्यों बनाया गया है? यहाँ ओपन होना चाहिए था ना. इसका शेप देखिए, ये ऑलमोस्ट यू शेप में है. ये भी एक चेंज्ड फैक्टर है जो कि दूसरे लाइट्स में नहीं दिखा, उसमें राउंड है. इसके दूसरे टाइप को भी देख लीजिए. ये देखिए यहाँ तो इन्होंने राउंड यूज़ करा है, लेकिन ये वाला पोर्शन देखिए ये मून शेप में यूज़ करा है. यहाँ देखिए स्ट्रेट शेप में है ये कवर. तो ऐसा क्यों है? क्योंकि दे डोंट वांट द लाइट शुड गो दिस साइड. इट शुड रियली गो टू द वॉल ओनली. ये वाला साइड वॉल की तरफ होगा और ये वाला साइड वॉल के अपोजिट साइड को. इसमें ओरिएंटेशन जो अंदर में लाइट है उसको भी एंगल पे रखा गया है, फिक्स किया गया है. सो 2 things are there in this wall wash recessed light. This is something one should use if you want to wash your wall, What is washing of the wall? If you want, the light should specifically go to wide area of the wall. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can look at it. The orientation which I have just talked about, it is like this. It is going towards the wall. Here, suppose you have wall, so it should hit the wall, and opposite of the wall should be covered. Let's discuss about this. This is another type of wall wash recessed light. This is linear one. This is not spotlight. This is linear light. You have the profile. See the orientation of light which is coming out. It is going to hit this wall, but this side is blocked. So orientation as well as the focus is on the wall, so that the wall should only receive, wide area of the wall should receive the light. So these were different types of recessed lights. Baffle, which goes inside, which is having ring, this is coming out, this is having reflective surface, this is having one-sided focus.
Yes, sir.
Likewise, Shail is having diamond-like, crystal-like diffuser. Eyeball is behaving like human's eyeball, which can rotate, and this is having the thin encasement. At the same time, gimbal ring is like this, wherein it is having outer perimeter, that is the trim, and inner trim also, but this is not having trim. Periscope, you must have seen. I show you again. Periscope, this is periscope. Why do we use periscope? Because you can fix this to the ceiling, this trim, but this can rotate inside.
Yes, sir.
Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Let's see few more if we have missed anyone. So this is the type of light called baffle light. You can see this is which one?
Reflector.
Reflector one. This is reflector one, because it is having shiny reflective surface.
Yes, sir.
This is recessed eyeball.
Eyeball.
This is which one? Regressed eyeball. This is regressed eyeball. Regressed eyeball. Recognize this? This is which one?
Eyeball.
Regressed eyeball. Now this is which one?
This is reflector.
This is which one?
Cool.
This is trim recessed lights, because it is flat. This is wall wash recessed light.
Ball wash.
Wall wash linear.
Yes. Ball wash.
Wall wash recessed light. This one,
Ball wash.
this is again wall wash. Though it is coming out,
Yes, sir.
but this portion is totally blocked. But this portion is producing light towards the wall.
Yes, sir.
This one,
Ball wash.
this is again wall wash. You can see blocking over here. See the reflector inside structure also, and the angularity of the light. So this is called pinhole spotlight. Which one?
First one, pinhole.
Pinhole spotlight. Let's look at pinhole light. This is the example of pinhole. So why do we call it as pinhole? Because it is having very small aperture. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this is having very small opening. That is why this is called pinhole recessed lights. Have you seen application of pinhole recessed light?
Not yet.
This seems to be pinhole, small aperture.
Yes, sir. Not
So
visible.
pinhole recessed lights is in fashion. People are loving it. It takes very small space in the ceiling. Your ceiling looks flat, plain,
Sir,
with the kind of teaming effect.
sir, does it use in car ceiling as well?
see, the industrial use is a different case. We will discuss this in terms of interior and architecture, okay? Because we have height here, 10 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet. Car is a different case because it is having very small and squeezed area.
Yes, sir.
So obviously it's a different case altogether. Look at it. Looks stunning. Looks minimalistic.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Pinhole.
It is just one pinhole. So pinhole light gives you very narrow angle, because of which you get very concentrated light on a particular spot, particular object. And because of this, you create a beautiful, minimalistic and sober space. It is because of the light, this pinhole light. So if you're not sensitive and sensible about different types of light, you won't be able to use it. Example of pinhole. Drop glass. This is the old-fashioned light. Earlier, they used to make another shell outside in the glass. This used to work as diffuser. So nowadays you don't find such type of spotlight or recessed light in the market. We have open splay. So this open splay actually remains a little bit inside, means it is almost on the surface. Let's look at the example. Open splay. Is this the example of open splay? Yes, this is the example of open splay. This is the example of open splay. This doesn't come out much out of the trim or the surface of the false ceiling. जो बहुत ज्यादा बाहर आ जाता है उसको क्या कहते हैं हम लोग? Drop opal. This is not drop opal. This is open splay.
Yes, sir.
Now Fresnel. You remember we have discussed about
the first one.
Shower. This is again very old fashioned. It looks cheap, but the replacement, at times some people call shower recessed light as the Fresnel.
Yes, sir.
So let's see Fresnel. Fresnel actually remains a little bit inside. So this is the example of Fresnel. Even you can call it as shower. Right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now we'll move to regressed eyeball, which I have shown you. Regressed eyeball remains inside. It doesn't come out of the surface of the ceiling. Almost it doesn't come out. This is regressed eyeball. But at the same time, this normal eyeball comes out, pop out. But this doesn't come out or pop out. So already I have shown you regressed eyeball. If you want to see it again, you can see it. See, it is coming out. So this is coming out. So this will be called as regressed or normal eyeball.
So regressed.
No, this is not regressed. This is coming out.
Yes, sir. No, it's eyeball.
It's not regressed.
It is eyeball.
This can be called as regressed because this is coming a little bit out. Little bit.
Yes, sir.
Maybe a few mm. This is example of regressed eyeball.
Yes, sir.
But this was not the example of
regressed eyeball.
This was the example of
eyeball.
So if you don't take interest in the class, so what it makes? It doesn't make anything. Any information which you hadn't is information for you.
Yes, sir.
So take interest. If you know something, so obviously you can skip. Right? Now let's come back to the cross blade. I don't have cross blade example inside. This is again old fashioned one. It used to be partitioned like this.
In the light.
Yes, inside itself.
Okay.
And these materials used to be translucent material. So the concentration of light remains to the desired angle. Its cutoff angle is really good. So such type of lights doesn't give any kind of glare. In general, let me tell you, this light, this light and this light is almost inside, because of which you won't get any kind of glare. But in this case, this is coming out, you may get glare. Let me show you. In this case, these cases, you won't get any kind of glare, but you will get little bit of glare if it is not diffused. In drop opal, actually it is diffusing the light, that's why it is also not going to create any kind of glare. But if it hits directly to your eyes, anything which is coming out, any light, will create kind of glare. Look at it. This is not going to create glare. This may create glare. This may create high amount of glare if it is coming out. This may create a little bit of glare. So any light you use, it is very important to note or understand the value of cutoff angle and glare, about which in detail I'll talk in the next video. So thank you very much for watching this video.